the Chi-Town experience on the flight. Let me go tune in to Keek on the mic. He gon' make sure we get our news and highlights. When you get on YouTube, you better hit the like.
Things are starting to get scary in Chicago. Hey, what's going on, Bears fans? Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Keek on the Mic, the podcast all about the Chicago Bears. As always, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. So, Bears fans, as you guys already know, the Chicago Bears held yet another padded practice, and it was super intense, and that's exactly what Ben Johnson and this Bears coaching staff was pushing for. He did mention prior to the start of this training camp practice that this would be one of the more intense practices for these players. I mean, it definitely was that. It lived up to the hype. There was a time where Tremaine Edmunds absolutely popped DeAndre Swift, and I'm all for the intensity as long as no one is getting hurt. It's something that Ben Johnson is probably used to because that's how Dan Campbell runs his training camp practices over there with the Detroit Lions. So I definitely love the culture that Ben Johnson and his coaching staff is continuing to instill here in Chicago, and you can just tell that the players are continuing to buy in. So, Bears fans, we do have a whole lot of positive updates to share on today's episode of Keek on the Mic in regard to this padded Chicago Bears training camp practice. First and foremost, one of the biggest positives coming out of practice today is that Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears offense continues to take steps in the right direction. They continue to stack these good practices and are truly getting better every single day. And you can see it first and foremost from our quarterback and Caleb Williams. You can tell that he is continuing to take that hard coaching and just building these practices up, building brick by brick, and continuing to improve as a quarterback. And you could tell that's relaying to the rest of the guys on the offense as well as they continue to get better every single day. And when we're talking about quarterback Caleb Williams, Bears fans, he was absolutely dealing today. He connected on some deep passes, not only to OZ, but Rome Odunze as well. And yes, before you guys comment down below in the comment section, Jonathan Owens could have absolutely laid out Rome Odunze if this was a real football game. But what I really wanted to focus in on that play is that Rome Odunze showed some really good separation and was able to make a nice catch. And it was obviously a really beautiful throw by Caleb Williams as well. DJ Moore, Cole Kmet, and Miles Boykin also had some pretty nice catches today as well. But the biggest story of today and what really got me excited about the updates that I was seeing from the Chicago Bears content creators and analysts and reporters was that Luther Burden absolutely had a day, Bears fans. He was absolutely torching the Chicago Bears defense, and he's been doing this for the last couple of days now. Obviously, we reported that Ben Johnson got in Luther Burden's ass the other day for not lining up properly, but you can tell that he's had some really big bounce back days, including today. He made a string of catches during team drills, made a nice contested catch with the DB draped all over him. And then on a couple of plays later, I made another nice grab where he had to adjust and also kept both feet in and kept his composure as well. I think in total, he made 5 catches during the team drills. I mean, he was doing it with Tyson Bagent. He was doing it with Caleb Williams. I'm just showing really good separation. It seems that Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears have finally found their slot receiver in Luther Burden. And he is really showing why he believed and why most analysts believe that he should have been a first-round talent in this last NFL draft. So far, so good for Luther Burden. It seems like he is catching on very fast. It seems that the Chicago Bears got a massive steal, and that puts things in perspective because if he can click and prove that he can be an effective weapon along with Colston Loveland and the other guys that we have on this offense, things can get really scary here in Chicago, and it just gives Caleb Williams yet another weapon to throw to, and it gives Ben Johnson as a play caller just another weapon to play with as well. So it's really good to see that Luther Burden is catching on fast and is having some really good practices. So as long as he can stay healthy and continue to stack these good practices, he will play a major role in the Chicago Bears offense as soon as this season. So overall, Bears fans, you can definitely see the progress from Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears offense. And the one thing I really love about watching these video clips from the Chicago Bears insiders is that you can tell that Caleb Williams and offense are dialed in to the details, right? What Ben Johnson is looking for is just the simple details, the motions, the checks at the line of scrimmage. Honestly, Caleb Williams and the rest of the guys on offense are taking major initiative, and you can see that from week 1 to week 2 of training camp practices that they are definitely improving as an offense. So as long as they remain organized, as long as they continue to focus on the details and accept that hard coaching from Ben Johnson, this offense has the potential to be very scary once all of this clicks, especially when you consider the improved offensive line. Ben Johnson as a play caller, Luther Burden and Colston Loveland having really good camps as rookies. You see, obviously, Roma Dunze and DJ Moore popping off as well, and even DeAndre Swift is having a really good camp as well. And you still have to remember Cole Kmet and the other running backs we have on this roster as well. So if everything continues to click, they continue to stack these good practices, this offense, the sky is really the limit. And I truly feel that once it all clicks and comes together, that opposing defenses are going to have a really tough time trying to stop Caleb Williams and the rest of the Chicago Bears offense. So Bears fans, before I let you guys go, I do have kind of a concerning update in regard to Jaylon Johnson. Of course, he started on the PUP list where he is not able to practice, or the NFI list, where he's not able to practice till he comes off that list, dealing with the leg injury that came away from team activities. And originally, Ben Johnson said that, hey, he will be back in a couple of weeks. But now Ben Johnson actually made an update, and it seems that, he may not be ready for that week 1 matchup on Monday Night Football against the Minnesota Vikings. This is what he had to say, Bears fans. He says, I think there is a scenario where he will be ready for week 1, and that is really the target date. I know he is working hard and diligently to get there for that, and with those types of injuries that he's got, you just never know. You never know. It's still early in that process, but I know he's attacking that rehab really well. So Bears fans, originally, I didn't really know the severity of the injury. All we knew is that he had a leg injury. Hopefully he can recover very quickly. There is pros and cons to the situation. Of course, we want our all-pro corner out there for that week 1 matchup against the Minnesota Vikings. He's obviously, we are obviously a better defense with Jaylon Johnson out there. The pros to this is that you're seeing a lot of our young guys getting a lot of valuable reps during training camp while Jaylon Johnson is out. So, of course, we have Tyreek Stevenson, we have Terrell Smith, we have Zoff Frazier, and, of course, Nashawn Wright, the vested veteran that we just picked up, is also getting some valuable reps as well. So, of course, we want to see Jaylon Johnson out there, but we do not want to rush this thing where he comes back and re-aggravates the injury. So I know that Ryan Poles, Ben Johnson, and the rest of the Chicago Bears medical team will, ease Jaylon Johnson back into it. I think, once again, Ben Johnson's just trying to be precautious here. I think we will have Jaylon Johnson by the time that week 1 matchup rolls around against the Minnesota Vikings, but I'm hoping he gets back sooner rather than later, because we are definitely a better defense with Jaylon Johnson out there. So Bears fans, other than that, make sure you guys continue to hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms, and make sure you share this episode of Geek on the Mic with every single Bears fan that you know. But other than that, be back for all new Bears podcast right here on Geek on the Mic. Thanks, guys, and as always, bear down.
You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Geek on the Mic. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Geek on the Mic. You can go and subscribe, cause I be on it right. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Geek on the Mic.